leaves are just coming out on the willow trees as well. Looks really nice.
So this is the River Cam.
Yeah, so this is the Cam. The bridge in the background over there is King's College Bridge. King's College, founded 1441 by Henry VI. He wanted to stand on the top of his bridge and look down on all the other bridges. So his bridge is the tallest, and he straightened this river in 1441 so that he could do that.
How did he straighten the river?
Well, you can just see, because obviously
he dug a bit.
rivers tend to bend with the flow of the water,
Right.
and he shored up the sides to make it straight.
I prefer a bendy river personally, but each
yeah.
to his own.
Yeah, but that's fair enough. The bridge itself is actually known as the Silent Bridge if you go to King's. King's College choir boys, of which I was one, if you can imagine that. We would walk with our choir master, and as we get to the bridge, the choir master would stop us and say silence. And you have to walk over the bridge, through the college and into the chapel in complete silence. They still do that today. So that's why it's called the Silent Bridge. The next bridge with the balls on the bridge, that is Clare Bridge. Clare College is the limestone facade. We saw their boathouse earlier, and that is the oldest bridge on the river.
How old?
280 odd years old, something like that.
Well built.
Yeah. Well, it's slowly collapsing on the right-hand side, but it's been collapsing for about 200 years.
Thanks to Isaac Newton, of course.
yeah.
If not for him,
Yeah.
no gravity, bridges wouldn't collapse.
Exactly. So that's a really special bridge. These two gardens and this new library is all a part of Trinity Hall. So Trinity Hall is totally separate to Trinity. Trinity, we came past earlier, is the one behind us that way.
Now this is a new library,
A new library,
but it's built to look quite traditional and old.
I think it's the most fantastic job they've done of making a modern building, clearly modern, but fit inside what is a really delicate area. The architects are called Freeland Rees Roberts, and they're a local firm here in Cambridge. They designed it to make it look like the bow of a ship breaking through the waves, because maritime law was drafted here. This is our legal college. You can study any subject from any college, but if you wanted to study law, they would encourage you to come to Trinity Hall.
Wait, can I stop you there? Maritime law.
Maritime law.
But we're nowhere near the sea here.
The laws of the waves was drafted right here. Yeah.
That's not fair. That's
Yeah.
too greedy, Cambridge.
Cambridge's reach stretches very far. Yeah, I think it's a cracking piece of architecture what they've managed to
I
do.
quite like it. So Cambridge has changed a lot in the last 10 years, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is
yeah.
an example of-
This is an example of that. It's certainly the last 10 years we've seen a lot of growth, but it's basically it's never stopped growing.
But it's not modernising in a bad way. It's retaining its character.
No, I would say there's not a lot of modern going on right here where we're standing.
Okay.
No, it's continuously evolving. I mean, like Stephen Hawking as an example, he went here to Trinity Hall. He did his first degree at Oxford. He did his master's and PhD here at Trinity Hall. We say that he's trying to redeem himself. And so he studied here. He's then spent the rest of his life as a fellow at Gonville and Caius. That's another college behind here. So yeah, this is, when you think about it, this is a significant place just for the fact that Stephen Hawking has been, studying here. That's an important thing.
Now there's a massive rivalry between Oxford and Cambridge. Your family is what for centuries come from Cambridge, hasn't it?
There's no real competition, to be honest.
Right. So
I think Oxford people think there's a competition, but I don't understand that because there is no competition.
There is no competition.
Yeah, I mean, I can't comment about Oxford. I've only been there a few times, and that was too many.
So it's forbidden for you to set foot in a town, perhaps.
Perhaps. But no, the other place, as we refer to it, I'm sure is very beautiful. I've seen a fair amount of it. It's a nice place, but you can't compare it to this, can you?
Well, they also have punts, right?
Yeah, they do. They punt the Oxford way. This is the Cambridge way of doing it, where we stand on the back. In Oxford, they stand in the front and punt backwards, and it's fairly obvious which is the more sensible way of doing it.
Interesting. That just to be different, to make sure you didn't do it the same as Cambridge.
Yeah, you can't do it the same way. Everything we do different.
So is Oxford known for a certain style and Cambridge known for a certain style, or are they two kind of identical universities
they're
of identical?
very, very different.
So
Very
what? How would
different.
you describe the differences?
Yeah, so you're not allowed to apply to both of them. You
Right.
have to choose which one you want to apply to.
Right.
Because they're both exceptional places. Oxford tends to be far more famous for things like politics and that kind of thing. It's a lot more, should we say, straight-laced, conservative, whereas Cambridge, bearing in mind it came from 4 or 5 different professors from Oxford came and created the University of Cambridge in 1209. So we have Oxford to thank for that, I guess. Oxford's very famous for that, whereas Cambridge is more of a maverick, free thinkers, scientific kind of a place.
I see.
And I think you could argue that that still is the case today. If you think about Boris Johnson, David Cameron, all of these famous politicians, they're all Oxford boys. Whereas you think, scientists, things like, people like Stephen Hawking, Cambridge boy.
I see. I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
But your heart's well and truly here in Cambridge. We can see that.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.